Hey everybody, today I am doing another math problem, and I will say math problems because I am doing two. Um, and maybe I will do more, but for now I will just see if we can do this kind of quick. Um, I got two problems. In the last video we were doing adding fractions, which is one of the operations, but like any other branch in mathematics, I would say that you will still have to deal with adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions. I mean, in this case, the fractions. So we will do these two problems, and if I have a time, I will do some multiplying, dividing fractions. But for the meantime, I will do these two problems. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so the last time we found the common denominator of the numbers, right? Of the two fractions before we added them. Okay, and remember, we only add the numerators. We do not add the denominators. Okay, so in this case we're doing the same thing. But the only difference right here that we're subtracting instead of adding. This problem is number 59 from this book, the same book that I use. Algebra and Trigonometry. This is by Michael Sullivan. It's kind of old book, but I like this book. So it is a very good book. Has a good examples on it, and it's very easy to follow. So, but anyway, I will do this problem. This is number 59 in the review section of that book. This one I made it myself. I made this problem, and I will get the answer, and I will, after I complete the answer, I will plot these numbers in the scientific calculators, and I will see if I got the right answer, because that is one way of checking this specific problem like that. So, but anyway, so we will do this problem. Okay, so let's say that we do this problem. Okay, so we're doing 3 over 20 minus 2 over 15. Okay, so in this case we have these denominators that are not the same, so therefore we have to find the common denominator on both of them, right? Because we need to somehow transform this in order to get a common denominator. We need to transform this so we can get the same denominators on these two pieces. Okay, so what will be the common denominator over here? 20 is obviously, it's a 5 difference between 20 and 15, so therefore it's not a number either closer to 20 or closer to 15. It has to be a higher number. Okay, but how do I do that? Well, I will just do the same thing. Minus 2 over 15, right? Well, I will say, okay, what are the multiples? The number that I can get by multiplying this number and this number, a certain 20, what will be the number 3 over 20? Okay, what number will we multiply in this fraction to get a certain number equal with this fraction, right? So I gotta think about it. Well, if I do 2 times 15 is 30, but that is not a multiple of 20. Okay, if I do 3 times 15 is 45, but that is not a multiple of 20. But if I do 4 times 15 is 60, and then and 3 times 20 is 60, then it's going to be 60, right? So therefore, I have to do multiply this by 4, multiply this by 4, right? And then I multiply this by 3, and I multiply this by 3, okay? So once I do that, I get 9. I get 9 over 20 minus 8 over, I'm sorry, this would be 60, and this should be 60, right? Now we have 9/60 minus 8/50, right? So therefore the answer for this is nothing but 1 over 60, right? So that is the answer for this one. In this case, I don't have to do anything because it's already in the lowest terms, right? So it's good. So this should be the right answer, and it's already reduced to the lowest term. Okay, so let's do this one. Okay, in this one I got a 5 and 4, right? So what will the answer? I'm sorry, what will be the common denominator? Common denominator is going to be 3 over 4, right? And we're still looking for those numbers, and in this case it's going to be what are the multiples of 5 and 4? Well, obviously it's going to be 20, right? So in order to get 20, I have to multiply this by 4, right? And this is going to be multiplied by 5, and then by 5, right? Now we do the math and multiply those, and we get 15 over 20 minus 8 over 20, right? So now 15 minus 8, because remember we're doing the same, exactly same, right? We're subtracting only the numerator, which is going to be 7 over 20, okay? Now to check this answer, and it's already the lowest term, right? To check this answer, we take the scientific calculator, and we just do basic operations. We say 3 over 4 minus 2 over 5, right? It's equal 0.35, and then we go to second, and then do math. Actually just math, and then go to fractions, and then press enter again, and you get 7/20, exactly the answer that I have right here, which is the right answer. Okay, so these are the two problems that I did as far as subtracting fractions, because again, if you know this basic operation, how to find the common denominator, and keep in mind that you only add or subtract the numerators, you will be fine. You will be fine if you know these two basic operations. Okay, so now let's do some other problems. Let's do some maybe multiplying fractions, right? Yeah, we can do some multiplications, right? And we have number 48. Number 48. number 48 is 5 over 9 multiplied by 3 over 10. Okay, so yeah, and that is the only the only multiplying problem that I have in this book. I don't have any other multiplying problem because, again, this is only a very small section on review problems. And so yeah, so anyway, I will do this problem, and we're doing multiplying fractions. Okay, multiplying fractions, right? So so in this case, we will do the same thing, not the same thing exactly, because I don't need to have a common denominator in this one. I don't need to have the common denominator, but at the end, we need to make sure that the answer is in the lowest terms. Okay, but right now, all I have to look is, okay, look at these numbers. Okay, first of all, when you're multiplying two numbers, right? Obviously, if you're multiplying two numbers, 2 times 5 is 10. Well, in this case, you're multiplying two pieces, two fractions, two pieces of a whole number. In this case, I am multiplying 5/9, and then I multiply it by 3/10, right? So what I need to take into account is that I'm multiplying two fractions. Okay, so in order to do this, we have to recognize the numbers. For example, what number is being multiplied 3 right here to get 9? Well, in this case, it's 3, right? So therefore, we use what is called a cancellation method. So you cancel this by 3, and you cancel this by 1, right? And then how many times have been multiplied 5 to get 10 over here? Well, it's 2, right? So you cancel that by 2, and you cancel that by 1, right? Once you do that, then you multiply it across. Then in this case, you multiply 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 2 is 6. So the answer for this is 1/6, right? So it's 1/6. Okay? So, sorry about that. Okay, it's 1/6. So that is one of the basic problems, right? Let's do another one. Let's do 2 over 15 multiplying 5 over 4, right? Okay, so okay, in this case, I got a 5, right? I got a 5 and 15. And how many times have you multiplied 5 to get 15? So 3 times, right? And this is 1 time, okay? How many times have been multiplied 2 to get 4 right here? Well, have been multiplied 2 times, so I cancel that by 2, and then I cancel that by 1, which is equal to 1/6 again. Huh? Isn't that beautiful? With two different numbers, I get the same answer. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Multiplying to different fractions, I get the same answer. Okay, so those are the two. Okay, now let's see if I can do some dividing fractions. Okay, so let's do some dividing fractions real quick, because again, this is just a briefly review, and once again, once you get some practice, it's going to be easy for you to solve this type of problems. Okay, let's see if they have some good problems. I guess they don't. But if they don't, I might have to make my own problem. Okay, so let me just make my own problem then. Okay. Yet they don't have any problems on divided fractions. So what I'm going to do, I want to go ahead and make my own problems. So let's see. Okay, so let's do dividing fractions. Okay, dividing fractions. Let's say that you have 8 over 20 divided by 2 over 10. Okay, so okay, so 8 over 20 divided by 2 over 10. Okay, so again, I have two fractions, and in order for me to divide these fractions, I don't have to do any cancellations, right? All I have to do is flip this one. Again, all I have to do is flip this number on the right side, because 8 over 20 is being divided by 2 over 10. So therefore, the new expression is going to be, and remember, what I'm going to do is flip this and change the sign to multiplication. Then I can do some cancellation, right? So my step 1 is going to be flip the sign of the right side and change the division sign to multiplication sign, right? So it's 8 over 20 times 10 over 2, right? Now, when I do that, I do that, I cancel this. Now I'm allowed to cancel, right? Okay, so when I cancel that and cancel this by 4, right? And then cancel this by 1 and this by 2, and the answer for this is going to be 2. So basically 8/20 divided by 2/10 is equal to 2, right? Okay, so let's do another one. Let's do 1/9 divided by now. Let's do 3/15 divided by 1 by 2/9. Okay. So in this case, I will again, my step one is, I am not doing any cancellation yet, right? My step one is to change the sign. My step one is flipping the right side, change the sign, and then do the cancellation. So in this case, it's going to be 3/15 multiplication sign, right? And then it's going to be 9/2. Okay, so now I have some numbers I can cancel over here. I can cancel this by 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 15 5 times, right? So then it's going to be 9/10, which is also a valid answer because the numerator is less than the denominator. So these are two basic examples of divided fractions, and I hope this video helped anybody who is taking basic mathematics and or maybe just preparing to to take the basic exams for college. I mean, this can be useful for anything. But anyway, just thank you for watching. Thanks.